For my cultural research, I'm doing my own Ghana. I am from Ghana, and that's where my ancestors and everybody is from. So I decided to do Ghana. So a little bit about Ghana. This is the map of Ghana. You see, it's very little and very small, and it has 10 regions. So regions are not like state; they're like little sections of state. They're like cities in state. Yeah. So we call them regions, and they have 10 of them. So you can tell Ghana is not that big. And one thing also about Ghana is it's just 57 years old. They gained their independence in 1957. So it's like, yeah, it's not a long time ago. It's like recently. Yeah. So it's a new country growing. Before Ghana became Ghana, they were called the Gold Coast. This was back in the days in 14 something. So they were the first people to go to Ghana were the Portuguese. Ghana was known as the gold coast. They had a lot of gold. They had a lot of people, and the Portuguese, they realized it. So they went to Ghana and they took over the government. They took over everything. You know, Ghanaians were not educated. They didn't know anything. All they knew were their little Ghana. You know, they haven't been anywhere. They haven't been exposed to anything. They don't speak English. They don't write. They don't read. So it was easy for the Portuguese to take over Ghana. So the Portuguese came in 1470, and this was their home. They took over the place for a very long time until English people came in at 1553 to take over Ghana too. So the Dutch saw how prosperous all these other countries were, because they were in Ghana were the ones doing the work for these countries. They were like shipped to other countries to work. So the Dutch came in 1595 to take over too. Swedish also realized it. So the Swedes also went into Ghana in 1640 to take over. So all this time, this little country were being taken over by people, and they have no idea. They have no clue. They are not educated. They are not. They can read. They can write. They can. Yeah. All they know was their farm work, and yeah. They didn't even know what gold can be used for. They didn't know what for the things they can get. Yeah. I guess that's what happens if you were not educated enough. So in 1820 the British came over. They heard about Gold Coast, and now people, all the other countries were talking about it. The Portuguese were talking about it. The Dutch were talking about it. The English were talking about it. So they're like, oh my goodness, we should get ourselves there too. So they came to Ghana and they took over Ghana. So from 1820 to 1957, they were the main people who were like colonizing Ghana. They were the big ones. Yeah. So they were big in slave trading, sending Ghanaians everywhere. So these are some of how they were treated. So they put all this around their ankle, their neck, and what have you, and they took over the people before they. These are some places where Ghana was like they kept the slaves. So this little house, some of these are some of the slaves. This is the house back in the days where they keep the people. This is like some how they, yeah, they changed how they used to treat the people. They brought them all over the world. They brought some to America, some to the Caribbean, some everywhere. So Ghana, Ghana is like really, yeah, the people are like gone. Like so many people, yeah, they are everywhere now. This is the slave market. Actually, this market was for the US actually. That's this where they put all the slaves they were bringing to America here. So this is, yeah, a little bit history there. Slaves, they sold them and people were happy because they have no clue. And so that's a little bit about the history and Ghana and everything. So until 1957, Ghana gained their independence. So when they gained their independence, this is how it looks like right now. So they have the 10 regions I talk about. This how they are. This where I'm from, Kumasi. So it's part of Ashanti region. So it's a big enough region for a lot of people, and we have a lot of history too. Well, in record wise, I was searching for records, and you get like zero every time, because the people in Ghana, they did not keep anything. After the British left, they gained their independence from the British. They burned all their documents. They like we have our independence. You guys should go back to your country. We don't want to have anything to do with you all. So that's what happened. So yeah, we don't really have like records back in the days. Like we don't even have records which are 60 years old. We just have like recent records. Yeah, that's recently is when they started keeping stuff. So it's really, really hard to do your family history work because my family can be anywhere. They can be anywhere in the world. And one thing, when I was growing up, we didn't really talk about it. It was like it's so recent. Like it's so. I am 20, and even when I was born, it's still like, you don't just recover in a day. It's such a long period of time. You have to take forever. So we didn't really talk about it. My grandmother, who lived through all this, my grandparents, they didn't want to talk about it. Nobody wanted to talk about it because it was like such a like painful thing. So I don't really know back in the days where my ancestors, like where they went around the world, but I know like little, it takes like one step at a time, little by little. And yeah, very soon we'll get everything and it will be nice. So this is my cultural research. It was on Ghana and this little region is where I'm from, Kumasi to be precise. Yeah.